Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to the third video in the Viewer's Choice 2 ink series. So we are today going to cover Monteverde Yosemite Green. It's a really complex color and I have had so much fun working with this ink the last couple of days. So I can't wait to show you what I have to show you. But let's get this into the bath test because we always like to see what happens. So let's do that. Oh, I got so much green on me today. Yeah, I've had, when I did the art part, I really got green. Inky fingers. Okay, this is the last ink that we covered. It was J. Arbonne, the 1670 Stormy Gray. And as we were seeing as the video closed, it did pretty much stay on. It blurred a little bit, and it lost a little of its darkness, but you could definitely still read it after having a total submersion. So I thought that was pretty significant. So there we have that. All right, let's just dive right in, and we'll let that do its tricks there. This is the Rhodia Gold book, where I have my ink journal and my pencil board. At the end of the video, I got another little small pencil board that I did today to show you. So let's see, here we are right on the little chart here. I added it in here. So I've got to get moving because I just got my confirmation today that the ink flight, my order had been confirmed. It hasn't been shipped yet, but it'll probably be shipped either today or Monday, so it'll be coming toward me while I'm doing the rest of these videos. It's not a race or anything, but it'll be kind of nice to have a smooth transition. So, okay, here we are, Monteverde Yosemite Green. I thought it was interesting how it kind of lightened up on the Tomoe River paper. Oh boy, I'm having a little trouble seeing. Got a lot of sunlight from outside, but it's not helping a whole lot. It's in the broad nib right to this point right here. So at least you can see that much. And I found it available just about everywhere, but Anderson Pens really had the best deal right now because they've got it on sale at the moment that I'm filming this. So don't take me, it's not going to stay at that price, $9 for 90 mil. I was shocked. I was like, wow, if I had extra money laying around, I'd probably get some. But it was, a variety of prices, different places. So Goulet had it, Jet Pens, and Anderson, and probably everywhere else. But I thought that took the cake, the $9 for 90 mil. Good grief. Anyway, I like this ink. It's bright, and it's a nice green without being too dark or too light. And it's complex when you get it mixed with water, that's for sure. And here goes in the medium nib. So it still retained a nice darkness, a little bit of shading, but there was a lot more shading on most of my papers in the broad nib. So let's go ahead and see the other notebooks, and then we'll go into the paper samples. So we're going to go into the Caf Note by Nanami Paper Company. It has Tomoe River paper and 7mm grid lines. Okay, on the left here, this is the broad nib. And then on the right, this is the medium nib. This pen, the Jen Hao is, I'll open it or pop it open too quick and I'll have drops on my page. I got to slow down. And I also have to kind of look at that pen because it's done it a couple times when I didn't expect it. So I don't know what's happening with that. But I just love the shading, all the shading I got with this nib, and it's just a nice dark, it reminded me of Daintree Green, and yet it's not quite the same. I should have bookmarked this, darn it. Hasn't been that long since we did Daintree Green. Let's see if we can find it. It'd be worth it if I could find it. There's the oyster one. Oh, it may not. It just may be too hard to find. Shoot. Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it did remind me of that, but I can kind of see a little bit more darkness, just a little bit of a different shade, which is very hard, darn it, to capture on the video. It's close though. Have it being that I have this ink, I'm covered in that shade really, and they have a lot of similarity as far as the writing, but I think there was a big difference in the art application. So we'll get to that in a little bit here. And then in this little notebook, the Nemesis that came in the ink flight a long time ago, I have done my usual thing, but I'm going to participate in Boho Berry's challenge. It's Cara Ben's. Her challenge for December is, it's like a year-end review, and it's really neat. I got my other notebook too. I've kind of kept it. I printed it out from her website. It was a free printable. If you're a member of the tribe and you sign up for her emails, you can get it free. And it just is a nice idea to do a year-end review anyway. You could kind of process your year, because, I mean, really good things happen, horrible things happen, the lessons are learned, but if we just breakneck speed through things and we never reflect, or we don't reflect thoroughly, then I do feel that that's a worthy thing to do. So I may not keep up with it every day on Instagram, but I'm going to be working in my process journal and everything. I did it last year with another group of people, and it was really worthwhile to look at what went right and what went wrong. And that's 30 prompts that she's given us. So I got really excited about that, because I do it whether anyone else saw it or not. I just would be doing it myself in some form or fashion to figure out, where do I need to go from here, what was great, what was horrible. But this ink, it was just really fun. And this is a good representation of what it looks like. For some reason, when I get this notebook up here, it seems more accurate, the color. So, and then this is in the glass nib, the little Moon Man mini glass nib pen. And that I'm going to continue with, just to, to practice with it and get used to it. So, okay, gosh, I spent a lot of time talking about year-end review. Okay, here's the Tomoe River paper, 52 gram. I started playing around toward the end here with the ink, because I was fascinated by how dark it can be and how light. And so I started doing some smear tests, which I probably should do all the time. I loved the shading on this paper. There's a lot of shading, and it's really, really noticeable in the broad nib. And no wonder, because this ink is capable of going from a very light green, almost like a bright, like a supernatural. Remember that color that we looked at? We're going to look at that again, actually. All the way up to like a forest green. So here is the Leuchtturm 1917 dot grid paper, and it performed really well on there. If I remember right, there was, no bleed through or anything, and in the broad nib or the medium, it just looked good. Really good. It's nice to be able to write on that paper with a broad nib. Here's the Rhodia dot grid 80 gram. Oh, and I could see I did a smear test there. That was on purpose. It actually wasn't a mistake. Everything went well on there, and I still saw quite a bit of shading on the Rhodia. Not quite as much as the Tomoe River paper. Here's the Clairefontaine 90 gram French ruled paper, and I really liked it on there. There was absolutely no problem with it feeling too dry or anything. Monteverde inks are amazing. They got some kind of technology in them that I don't pretend to know a lot about, that keeps them real flowy and keeps them from clogging up in your pen, so it makes it really nice. Here is Office Depot college ruled paper, and it looked nice and dark on there. Both nibs just really came through good on there, as usual, I think, really. Okay, so I've got 2 panels. Well, actually I've got 3, but we'll see how far we get. Oh, it looks like that's going to almost disappear. Looks like it pretty much has. But we'll see it dried up the next video. We'll see. Okay, so I've done a little flag system so that we can... Wow, this is different than it was. I guess I've fiddled with my tripod. So here it is, where this little flag is, gives you the square where the ink of the day is. It really does compare well to Daintree green, although I could see that in the base of it, it goes lighter green, which is very, very interesting. Just makes it that much more complex and nice in artwork. It's not flat by any means. It has a great range of color. And then, it looks right at home right next to Caran d'Ache Vibrant Green, too. So, that's just a really, really lot of similarities there. And then, of course, we get down into some blue greens and different colors down here. And then a really super bright, the KWZ green number 5 is a gorgeous green. And it allows us to see the difference where we might at first think they were the same, but they're not. There's a big difference there. So, gosh, I hope I don't make anybody dizzy, but I'm going to grab out my other panel here and we'll switch it. Because I've got in the middle, I've got it on this panel, where we were doing 3 Oysters Namson, it turned up. And it just is nice to be able to see it beside some of these brighter ones like the Lamy Green is right down below it. And again, we've got some repetition. Here's Blackstone Daintree Green again. But right beside it, that kind of gives a different one. And then your Oliver colors, olivine or olive colors, the Pelican Edelstein olivine and the Monteverde olivine. That just shows you the difference. There's a huge difference there. So this was neat to revisit these panels, and then I got to spend a little more time doing some other creative stuff instead of making a brand new panel. There was really no need for it. I'm going to show you one more. Okay. It also turned up on this panel where we were doing Robert Oster Opal Green. And it's interesting because that base color, whoops, I want you to be able to read the names of the inks. The base color that kind of comes out is very, very similar, and we see it in the artwork too. See, we see in Monteverde Yosemite Green that when it hits the water, it ends up looking a lot like the opal green, which is much lighter. Anyway, we'll look at that closer in a minute. And then we've got our blue greens and, Robert Oster Green Lime. That one didn't show up, I don't think, on the other panel. Anyway, it can get confusing, but I thought it would be nice to look at it, you know, besides some of these different inks. And they can, you know, you can kind of go back or pause it or whatever if you want to take a good look. But there, so that's that, and had a lot of fun making the artwork, or the, you know, the Nick Stewart technique. This is the first one I tried. I like doing it on these little cards because the page doesn't warp as much. I still haven't invested in the 200-pound watercolor paper. This is the 140-pound. And I, you know, when Christmas gets a little bit further down the line, you know, I'm going to look into the kind that he uses, because I even got a note from him saying that it will work better on that thicker paper. So that's exciting. That's something to look forward to. But as it is, I like this. It looks like treetops. It kind of looks like a blue, you know, the sky kind of, and it just does something different every single time, and what fun. Let me get out the larger one. This is the new visual journal. Oh dear, I'm having trouble keeping it clean because that Jen Hal pen did another number on it, but we'll just have to, you know, enjoy those kinds of things, I guess. I could go in and blotch it out with a correction thing, but here it is. Here's the one on this one, and wow, we've got everything from red sheen. I'm not sure you could see that. It's a dramatic. It was much more dramatic. Let's lay this one down here so we could still kind of see it. It just went wild, you know. Probably more water got on here, and there was also a little warping of the page. That's what I was referring to, because I've got art on the back side of it too. So that just gives you variables. That just ends up giving you something a little bit different, you know, and it rolls around in funny ways, and I don't know. But I love it. I just love it because you can't tell what's going to happen, and it doesn't really matter. There's still the beauty of the ink and the different colors that come out. This is dramatic. This is one of the most dramatic inks of all for, you know, for the contrasting colors and the surprising things that happen with water. So hope you enjoyed looking at that. Now, I've got a couple of things that are kind of off topic. So first, let me just say what's next in case you're pinched for time and you'd like to skedaddle. The next one in our series is going to be this one, Monteverde Napa Burgundy. So this is our second Monteverde ink for this series, and it's a deep burgundy. It's beautiful. I used to see this a lot in Victorian art for Christmas. My mom used to send me I'm thinking the name of it was Ideals. It was Ideals magazine or something like that. Beautiful stuff. And I'm looking forward to that ink. So that'll be next. I'm not sure exactly when, because tomorrow is going to be a circus, I'm afraid. But I'll get started, though. I'll have it in my pens, and that'll give me even more to say. So I've got a special thank you, first of all, to start with, because today, in today's pen mail, I received this beautiful 2-pen case from Kara. And I've got my purple Jinhao, which is nicely capped, because otherwise it's a little bit of a, it's given me a little bit of a issue right now, but so it won't get on this pen case. And then I've got the other Jinhao, the blue swirl one in there. They fit perfectly, and it's just so gorgeous. It's got these little like stars, and I just have such appreciation for what it takes to make one of these, because I worked and worked to try to do something like this. I wanted to make one, and as close as I could get was something like this, if you remember, and it was really hard to do. It was so hard to do, and then a friend wanted one, and I promised, and so I gave mine, because when I made this second one, it fit this pen, and it just was, there were some really bad mistakes on it too, but anyway, I have such a great appreciation for the work, and it's just such a nice, lovely gift. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'm going to use it a lot. I love it. So anyway, I wanted to show that. Now, the other thing I promised was that I'd show you the second pencil board that I made. So this is my little traveler's notebook in the passport size. It's heavily used all day, every day, because I write in it all of my, like I write my interval for fasting, the number of hours I fasted, and then, I jot weird things down, sometimes TMI, too much information. But anyway, I write my carbs and my weight if I did it, and all kinds of weird stuff. Anyway, what I wanted was to translate some of my notes onto one of these pencil boards, so that, and I just decided to do it rough like this on an old index card and rip it and put it on here, because it's what I'm used to looking at, my little scrawling, and I tried to do it similar. And then I just, I did some watercolor effect with Tombows to start with, because I remembered that with happy and successful, what do you call this, collaging, it's nice to completely have a background of some kind. So I really enjoyed making this, and it means something to me. It tells me, kind of like where I'm at right now. It may get better or it may stay the same. For a while I tried a 19-5 pattern where I ate for 5 hours and fasted for 19. That just isn't working for me. There's probably something lacking in what I'm eating or energy wise, and I just haven't hit it just right. But this is my happy spot right now. So it's a reminder of what I'm doing and how it's going. And then on the other side, it's just, from a magazine, the three main categories that I'm kind of eating from. Of course, I'm eating some carbs, so I put my strawberry there, because that's one of my favorite ways to, to have a healthy carb. And it also has sugar, but in the right portion, and being that it's not a processed food, it's a real food. I don't know. These are just really fun, because they remind me, and you can make it kind of colorful and beautiful or meaningful to you. So I just wanted to show you that I'd made another one. So proud of myself. And I put my word of the year on it, peace. And I'm already working with that process of the end of the year. I'm working on what my word will be next year. And I've got a raw idea. It has to have something to do with finances and money or abundance or something. Because, so many things are going good. And there's like this room for good change. So anyway, I thought I'd just show you that, and we'll be back. I will be back with Monteverde Napa Burgundy. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for always, being here, making comments and discussing these inks. I just think it's cool. It's like making these videos motivates me to continue with testing out what I have and appreciating what I have. And then sharing it, because it could be every once in a while, it's useful for somebody. So anyway, I will see you next time, and thank you very much. Bye for now.